fantastic. This is GT racing right now.
He's got traction, he's got everything outside of both of them! Maloney!
Oh, he's taken Anderson! Anderson's up top!
Oh my god! Oh. Big crash! Oh my goodness, half the field's gonna get rolled!
Sec's very close. These guys are want to make their way through the field very quickly. Oh, there we go! Oh no! That's massive! This is it! This is over! I can't believe this! Oh my god!
God, what?
Welcome one and welcome all once again to the Maxx Bantz Open. This is the 18th running of the worst sim racing event hosted on iRacing. My goodness, we have been doing this for about 4.5 years now, and Maxx Bantz is legal now, so goodness gracious, we are going to have some fun tonight. This is If Anything You Can Bantz, I Can Bantz It Better. We are playing the game of horse in the old Mercedes GT3 around the Hockenheimring Porsche Experience Centre, live on SimSpeed TV on YouTube, SimSpeed Esports Network on Facebook, and on Twitch over on the Traction channel. Make sure to go to twitch.tv/TractionGG and chuck them a follow, because it's been great to see them come on board as supporters of this event. I'm Reese Gardner. In the commentary box with me, as always, is Jay Kennedy. Jay, my goodness, this is going to be a fun one. I know that you, being a basketball fan yourself, you are familiar with the game of horse. There's going to be a couple of changes, though, in this one. We're not spelling horse, we're spelling B.M.W. Of course, typical Jay Kennedy, he starts with his mic muted.
What? No, it's not muted. It just, Windows always seems to disconnect my microphone from OBS for some reason. Hello, Reese. Of course, what better way to go to the Porsche Experience Centre in a Mercedes and spell BMW? Just makes complete sense. The only thing we're missing is an Audi, and we'd have the full German experience. But, of course, in the background, you can see that is the Charlotte road course, and we're not there. We're also not here either, Reese. This is not the Hockenheimring, but who cares?
No, certainly not. The Nürburgring Gesamtstrecke VLN. I mean, I tell you what, the drivers will probably feel like they are driving around this track with how terrible I have made the setup in this Mercedes GT3. I basically made it so that the left rear doesn't touch the ground. There's also no traction control or ABS on in these GT3 cars, which makes it absolutely impossible to drive. But the Porsche Experience Centre outer layout is the layout that we are actually racing, Jay. It contains, among other things, half of the Nürburgring's carousel turn, and the cars get airborne through there. There's also a couple of other interesting points around this circuit too.
Yeah, there is. It's a pretty bizarre looking place, and it should provide some huge entertainment. May not be great for legitimate racing, may not be legitimate in regards to the way that the setup behaves, but we're all about entertainment, we're all about fun, we're all about a laugh in this event, as the first heat will get called out soon. Things are a little bit different tonight as well, because the drivers will notice, we notice as well, that there's no Mr. Jake Sperry here tonight. He's off actually commentating real world stuff tonight. Fancy doing that instead of giving up his sim racing baby, which means that you and I are in charge, Reese. So we can make this go any which way we like. So we'll take bribes, we'll take whatever to make things work in whatever favour anyone wants.
Indeed. Well, Cam Obernon and Lachlan Capel are our first bracket. Now, the way this is going to work is the drivers will race for 5 laps, and the goal is to run 3 laps faster than your opponent. If you run a slower time, you get a B, then an M, then a W. You run 3 laps faster than your opponent, and they will be out. So, without further ado, let us begin this event in 3, 2, 1, go. And we will wait for the drivers here to get started. So Cam Obernon and Lachlan Capel now racing around the track for 5 laps. We will see who runs the fastest time on this opening lap. You can definitely see that they're having a lot of trouble with the left rear, and it is impossible to go at maximum pace around this circuit. It looks like Capel is definitely more familiar, as there is a spin there for Cam Obernon. This is not going to get his first round off to a very good start. He's already in danger of being eliminated in round 1.
Yep, and of course, this is being run in a qualifying session as well. So 1x incident points, 2x incident points will make your lap invalidated. And saying that, Lachlan Cable's just run straight off the track, so he won't get a lap in either.
No, certainly won't. That's an issue I think that I didn't take into account. I set this as an open qualifying session and not an open practice session, so unfortunately I think we're going to have a lot of trouble in hindsight getting maximum times out. So let's.
Cable's lap counted. No, it did not. No, it didn't.
No. Well, either way, we can see then that it is 56 on your timing, so we will still be able to see that time. And I get the feeling that this is going to be a B here for Cam Obernon. So I'm just going to note that down now. It is a B on the table for Cam Obernon. So now we just wait and see if the drivers can make their way around this circuit. And, oh man, you can see just how much of a terrible time Lachlan Cable is having here. Putting the power down. There's no traction control on this car, so you've got to be very ginger on the throttle. Second lap, it counted 1 minute, sorry, not a 1 minute, a 49.1 there for Lachlan Cable. Let's see then what our other driver can do here. Cam Obernon trying his best here. He spun again. That's going to be another invalidated lap. We'll wait until he crosses the line. Don't forget that if you go a lap down on your opponent, then it is an automatic forfeit and you will be sent to the Shadow Realm. So unfortunately, it seems that Obernon is in a lot of trouble here. He was a late joiner to the server. He hasn't had any opportunity here to get used to the car. Capel, though, is coming up now to the end of his third lap, and he is lapped. So confirming Cameron Obernon is lapped now. That is a forfeit for you, Cam. I am very sorry, but you are out.
And on will go Lachlan Cable, and he will face up against Olivia Haywood in round number 2. Be up in a little bit. Next out will be Nate Stewart and Brett Pancari. They'll get out onto the track in just a moment. Lachlan Cable will receive the good news that he's through. We'll get our second matchup underway. This could take a little bit to get through, depending on how close some of these races actually end up being, because the drivers that we've had out there that have been doing practice times, some have been very, very incredibly quick, and others haven't quite been able to nail down the setup. Around about 10 seconds difference between the fastest and the slowest drivers in our practice session.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Nate Stewart doing a little bit of tyre warming on his way up to the start-finish line. I don't think that is too necessary.
That's against the spirit of Maxx Bantz, isn't it?
Yeah, and it looks like he's almost stopped right in the middle of the track. I hope there's enough space there for Pancari to get alongside him. So we'll wait until Pancari comes to a stop, and we shall go live for this race in 3, 2, 1, go. Nate Stewart versus Brett Pancari. They are live. Remember, they will have to keep it in between the white lines and make sure that their laps count. And we are joined by Daniel Yeaman instantly. G'day, Dan. Thanks for jumping in to this event on such short notice. We'll give you a bit of time to get ready, but my goodness, this is going to be a fun one. These drivers are having an awful lot of trouble getting themselves up to speed, as that's a lot of wheel spin there for Nate Stewart.
How much tyre smoke was there on the way out of the corner? And hello to you too, Dan. And Reese, you have done an absolute masterstroke with this setup. The brakes don't work. They're going to be ginger on the accelerator, and the whole wheel alignment is completely out. It's absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, you can see just how much trouble these guys are having coming up to the line here, but they've both kept it within track limits. We'll see who has run the fastest time out of these two. Nate Stewart crosses the line, and it is going to be a 55.69, but Brett Pancari's gone faster, so that's going to confirm that is a B on the board for Nate Stewart. So now he's in a little bit of trouble here. Pancari has to run the next 2 laps faster than Nate. Otherwise, he's going to be in a little bit of trouble. This is lap 2 of the 5-lap race, and Nate Stewart once again locking up hard into the braking zone.
Good evening, folks, and evening to you two fine gentlemen this evening. Goodness, I caught the first one of our duels there tonight, and now watching both the production feed and the live stream, and well, also made sure to have a check-in of the highlight from the traction stream earlier this week, Reese, to see just what a monstrosity you've built for these cars tonight. And well, that's looking pretty good so far, I have to suggest. I'll be in the server in a second to help with accounting times, perhaps, but how have we gone there on that second lap, gentlemen?
That is a B on the board for Brett Punkari. It is 1-1 so far.
Stewart gained around about 0.4 of a second that lap there, so Punkari's going to have to try and get something to happen. I must say that tyre smoke, Punkari's around.
Spin for Punkari. He's going to have to get going here. That's going to be an M on the board for Brett Punkari at this stage. We will wait for the call until Nate Stewart crosses the line. So let's see what time he sets here. It's going to be a 48.9. That is an M on the board for Brett Punkari. Don't go a lap down, otherwise you'll get eliminated.
I have to say, watching the onboard right now that we have here with Punkari coming down towards the left-right chicane here, and just the way the revs are just like, yeah, we're not revving this car out tonight. Or we are going to rev the car out tonight by virtue of just spinning up the inside tyres. Oh, hello, hang on to it, Brett. He's able to just keep control, but he's having to, look at that, up into fourth gear, and there we go, it bites.
Finally.
No, not anymore, not anymore.
Yeah, goodness gracious.
Truly the most cursed setup I think I've ever seen for a Maxx Bantz Open, and I've only realistically seen about 2 or 3 of them in my time on iRacing.
All right, well, Nate Stewart sets a 49.5 there, so we'll wait for Punkari to come across the line, and we'll see if he can match that. 49.5 is the time to beat, and it's not going to happen. That is going to be a B.M.W. for Brett Punkari. He is out. Nate Stewart moves on to round 2.
That is second matchup done. Next matchup will be Benjamin Cox, and he will be up against Tom Holland. So those two will be the next pairing at it. And of course, the winner of that matchup will face up against Nate Stewart when we get into round 2 in just a little bit. Dan, officially welcoming you to Maxx Bantz. This is, as you said, the first time you've jumped in for a commentary on this one. You've picked an interesting one to come and join us for, because it's truly bizarre in the way that it's being run, but even more bizarre that Reese is running it, so he's actually nervous about it. We've never been nervous for Maxx Bantz in the entirety of it happening. We're just in it for the lols, and now we're actually having to try and run it at the same time.
Indeed, that is true, and gives well, indeed, yes. Hearing that Overlord Sperry was unavailable this evening, as per his usual, well, due to his extra busyness this week, and the fact that Reese therefore was in charge of it all. And while certainly you do a decent job on the microphone for these, you're also busy controlling cameras, so probably getting someone in to just talk tonight might be able to help things out this evening. So yes, indeed. I have now been initiated into all things on SimSpeed TV, the serious and the silly.
Have we got no Tom Holland?
So yeah, Tom Holland is needs a bit to set up things. So what I'm going to do is call out the next bracket. So give me a second, guys.
So we'll skip this matchup number 3, and we'll go to matchup number 4, which will be Alex Anderson and Nils Stroben. So they will come out in just a second. Reese is talking to them in the background, giving them out. So Nils coming out, and then you can see at the bottom of the shot there, Alex Anderson coming out as well.
Indeed, we are. Just also keeping an eye on the chat. Obviously, mentions about like where are the Audis, the VWs, and such. And indeed, tragically, we can't cover all the German bases here. In Maxx Bantz 18.
First thing I said to Sperry when he told me what was going on, I said, "Where's the Audi and where's the VW?" But he said, "No, not happening this time." That's okay.
All right, here we go then. We are ready to go for this bracket in 3, 2, 1, go. Now let's see how the start off the line is here for Alex Anderson and Nils Strobin. It's a much better start off the line for Anderson. Strobin is running behind just a little bit. That's okay. You have a bit of space here. Oh, but Alex Anderson already spinning here in the left-hander. Oh, that's already his first lap invalidated. Don't spin, Nils, and don't go a lap down, Alex Anderson.
Well, I guess if there was ever a time to proclaim the virtues of the hare and the tortoise in favour of the tortoise, that might just have been it. But, well, Nils has still got the last couple of turns here in the Experience Centre layout and this lovely little carousel dip that you found to navigate. It looks like, though, he's taking it nice and steady indeed. Gets through there without too much fuss, so get up the hill, lock the brakes, and then gently apply the power back downhill to complete this first lap for him here. And what's his time going to look like here? Across the line he comes. A 56.75 for Nils, so valid lap on the board.
And Nils
That
also
is a
running
B
the VW as
for
well.
Alex Anderson.
Reece, I don't know if you noticed. VW logo in the back left-hand quarter panel.
Oh, yes, he is.
So we got more German representation.
Oh, look. In the meantime,
Absolutely.
look at him smoking the left rear tyre there
Oh, yeah.
out of the roundabout sequence as we jump back to Alex Anderson.
Looks like he's gotten a handle on that car now, Dan.
He does, yes. So here's the one chance for speed, if you can call it that, here on this circuit. He's going to hit 160 kilometers an hour. That's a brave man on the brakes here, but he looks to have it mostly under control. I guess a little bit of a wobble under power is acceptable if you can hang on to it.
Indeed. Well, they are now separated by a corner. The lap time for Nils Strobin is a 51.7. So now we see what Alex Anderson can do to match that. 51.7 the time, and it is a 49.6 for Alex Anderson. That means it's going to be a B for Nils Strobin.
And Strobin off the track.
And Nils spun it there on that lap, so here's a free chance for Anderson to get the M on the board. Needs to just cross the line and not do anything silly here, so he's now within touching distance of Nils as well. So all he has to do is just get across the line and set up for the next one, I dare say, which obviously, makes it a... Nils has spun again. So they changed their order on track. That isn't obviously going a lap down after what we saw at the start of this one, but, well, that's now basically a free kick to Alex to put the M on the board here, because that lap looked nice and steady, and a fantastic bit of paintwork there for this event tonight. I could just notice there on the production feed. Some fantastic angles of that one there. A 51.46 for Alex Anderson will put a letter M on the board for Nils. Oh, getting a little loose into the roundabout, but, well, let's see what Nils can do here. Oh, he's really fanging that car. Just watching it bobble up and down, left rear off the ground. Oh, no, Nils!
Nils, I think that's going to seal it here for Alex Anderson. All he has to do is negotiate these final few corners and come up to the line. This is the fourth lap of the race, correct?
Yes, that is correct.
Good. All right, cool. I've got a lot to keep track of here. My brain is on fire right now. But Alex Anderson is going to come across the line here with that extra spin for Nils Strobin, and across the line he will come.
50.8.
That is a B.M.W. for Nils Strobin. Unfortunately, Nils is out, and it looks like he's already pulled into the pits and conceded defeat.
Indeed, he has. We fare you well, Nils. Thank you for your participation, but have to see you another time soon. And we are now told that Tom Holland is ready to go. So we'll now get that bracket ready to roll. And in fact, we even have a graphic which allows me to actually see who's up here. So Benjamin Cox and Tom Holland, your two competitors to take to the track for this one here. So, and indeed, the classic I'm in danger from Benjamin Cox on this one.
Oh, yes.
Yes, so this is going to be a good one here. So they line up to take the grid here at the Porsche Experience Centre.
Now slow it down, mate. Slow it down. Don't go across the line. Oh, okay.
Okay, and Tom Holland in the 95.
I think that's the first bit of contact we've seen tonight.
Yes, that would be the first car contact this evening. Right. They're vaguely lined up on the grid. I guess whenever you're ready, Reese.
Yes, indeed. So, let us begin this next run in 3, 2, 1, go. Benjamin Cox versus Tom Holland.
It's the slowest drag race I've ever seen.
Oh, God, yeah, it's absolutely awful, isn't it?
Well, both cars may be struggling a bit with the initial wheel spin there, thanks to the differential settings you've opted on here tonight. And, the different lines through the roundabout. Tom Holland opting to take the scenic path around the course there. Okay, I guess maybe that's a bit of a track experience thing for Tom there. And indeed, we're being told this is Tom Holland's first lap in the session tonight, right here, right now. So, no pressure, Tom, but you've got people who've done 30+ laps to
there we go.
Get one together. Unfortunately, into the grass goes Tom Holland, and so that will be a letter B on the board in a moment's time for him. He better try and get that thing facing the right way. Indeed, we are facing the correct way with the number 95 car, but that's now a good chunk of the lap behind.
B on the board for Tom Holland.
So that will be... Oh, no, another spin there for the 95 machine race.
Yep, might as well do it there. He has another chance here to make it around cleanly around this lap, but there's an awful lot of space now between he and Benjamin Cox. Remember, if you go a lap down on your opponent, it's an automatic forfeit. So the pressure is indeed on for Tom Holland here, who has come in very late and has not had any time to get used to this terrible setup.
Oh, he's got off. Oh, it's another spin. That's 2 laps erased on the board for Holland. And now certainly, I think the trouble really is if he can't get that car straightened up and going again, all Ben Cox has to do is just carry on around and possibly get him a full lap down here as Cox is round the final turn now and down the hill to the start-finish line once again. Holland is just down at the roundabout, so there's maybe not much more than 20 seconds between them on track, so danger for Tom. As we hear there, the BM call in-game for Mr. Tom Holland, so careful here, Tom. Hang on to it. Oh, he's been given a breather, though. Cox spins at the roundabout. Oh,
he's kept it on the track, though. He's not going to get an off track, so this lap is going to count.
And this lap definitely isn't counting for Holland, so this is BM 100% sold, sealed, done. He's got to nail this lap here, doesn't he?
Yeah, I'm curious to see what happens here, Reese, because that was almost 90 degrees to the track surface for Ben Cox. He might actually have gotten the 2X for loss of control, but we'll wait and see what happens across the line here. As he's got one corner to navigate, does the 26. And, oh no! Tom Holland's found the fence, and yeah, that Merc is not looking too happy. So the $1 million question is, did that lap count for Ben Cox? Yes, it did.
B.M.W.
So we say farewell to Tom Holland in the 95 machine, and Benjamin Cox will progress to round number 2 here tonight.
Will
Benjamin
indeed.
Cox will go up against our second heat winner, or second event winner. That was Nate Stewart, so they'll be in round number 2. Interesting matchup coming up next. But Reese, do we not have Austin Knight? Am I not seeing him?
It seems that we do not have Austin Knight, so that's going to be a slight issue. I tell you what, we could make a little bit of an adjustment here to the event format, because Scott Travis was supposed to compete against a driver who is now out, so we can put him into this bracket. Let me sort that.
All right, then.
We'll let Reese sort that out in the background, and we'll talk about how much of a meme this event has become. So it's almost become that iconic that it's going against the whole purpose of what Maxx Bantz was. In a way.
In a way, yes. Well. Ooh. Overlord Reese has made his decision, Jay. He is striking the round 5 in favour of Mr. Teasdale. So, indeed, Reese has made the call to give the round to Tommy Teasdale by default due to Austin Knight's no show, so he will progress to the second round straight away, and we can now move to our next bracket.
Eric Antilli and Thor Tullo.
Well, I see Eric in the driver list, but do I see Thor? Once again, we seem to be having issues with missing a couple of drivers here, Jay. Eric is certainly ready to go and at the pit exit, but no sign of Thor Tuller in the session.
I don't believe we've got him here either. Good to see Eric in his usual absolute horrible liveries that he runs for Maxx Bantz. That is a beautiful colour combination, but he just gets another free kick as well by the looks of things. I can't see...
Yes. He has indeed been given that round win by default. So unfortunately, Austin Knight and Thor Tuller eliminated due to non-appearance. And that means that we're going to have Ross Rizzo and Chad Dalton take to the circuit. So we can get ourselves another of the open brackets underway here. So out they head to the start line to get ready to get this one underway. So Ross Rizzo certainly experiencing a typical GT3 entry here, Reese, on the iRacing platform, but well, I guess we'll see just how he handles a slightly corrupted version of the Mercedes AMG.
We shall see indeed. Okay, let's get this going then. Next bracket will start in 3, 2, 1, go. All right, let's get this started then. Off the line they come. This is going to be very interesting here.
See there, Chad Dalton opting for a bit of a run-up to the start-finish line, whereas Rizzo had it basically parked on the line. Although, despite all of that, looks like Rizzo a little more comfortable here on this first of their laps, I would suggest. But both ticking along at a steady pace through this middle sector now of the circuit, it would seem.
Good point in the Twitch chat as well. Starting further back from the line is probably the right call because you can potentially get a faster lap right away just by carrying more speed across the start-finish line. It'll be interesting to see how this goes.
Yes, that will be important indeed as we on board with Rizzo in the 784 machine as it desperately tries to pick up speed. First lap for him is a 55.96. A 57.0 for Chad Dalton, so, well, you know where to put the B on the board, Mr. Reese. And we continue to watch Rizzo here smoke that left rear around this circuit, as is certainly going to be a convention for the rest of the evening, to put it mildly.
Yeah, indeed it is. Oh boy. Oh, they're doing very well to actually keep it on the track there. That's a lock-up for Chad Dalton. He's gone off the circuit. Oh my goodness. Getting some air he is. So, well, I think that is potentially going to be another faster time there for Ross Rizzo, who comes across the line to set a 50.414.
Yep, that's certainly quicker than an invalid time. So the BM on the board for Chad Dalton. He's got it all to play for here, and he's stopping the car. Interesting there. Opting to stop the car. Was something up with that one there? I didn't see anything out of place there at the start of that lap, Jay. Any clues?
I've got no idea.
That's odd. Oh, spin for Rizzo.
Is he struggling and actually done something to the engine?
Potentially.
Yeah, I think he's... You actually listen to the way the car's revving. It doesn't sound right.
Well, we'll see what the time is across the line for both these guys, because the lap is invalidated. If you could bring up that graphic, Jay, so that we can actually see what their time is going to be. Ross Rizzo comes across the line. It's going to be a 1:01.6 for Ross Rizzo, and it's going to be a 1:01.66. Was Dalton faster on that one?
I can't tell you.
Both laps are invalidated. Should have taken a... Actually, hang on. I can have a quick look back on the broadcast here.
Go for it, go for it, go for it. Let's see.
All right, I'll just remind you. So the overlay quickly displayed a 101.608 for Ross Rizzo, and I believe it was a 6.6.
Yes.
Indeed, a 101.66 for Chad Dalton.
B.M.W for Chad Dalton.
Despite the fact that both laps are invalid, we can still count them momentarily here, thanks to the power of the broadcast. No, I do not want to play the broadcast back at 0.25 speed, 2x speed to catch up would be a helpful idea.
I've done that too many times. So next matchup will be Jonathan Benn versus Sam Gunston.
All right.
And
we hope to find...
one thing, sorry to cut you off there for a sec, Dan.
Yes.
Interesting, for the first time in a long time, we've only got 2 previous Maxx Bantz winners in tonight's event, so high probability that we will assign a new son or daughter of Banter.
That is a good point to make indeed. And in fact, yes, Tommy Teasdale and Eric Antilli with the 1X to their names is a crucial point to make in all this. So I think, yeah, given that, well, Antilli is through, but he doesn't reckon his chances in round 2. And what did I say? Also, it was Tommy Teasdale also got through there.
He got through by
for
default.
round 1.
Two most beautiful words in a game of horse.
In fact, how about that there? Both of our 1X champions, or former champions, got through on defaults there on round 1.
All right, guys, it is time to get this going. Prepare yourselves as I get back into the sim. In 3, 2, 1, go. The next matchup for round 1 begins, and it looks like Sam Gunstone gets a slightly better run across the line there. He leads on the way into the first turn as Jonathan Bain follows him. Let's see if either of these guys are able to keep control of their Mercedes. Oh, so close there.
I love how you said that,
lap.
and they're already starting to hit the cones. The second you said, can they keep it together? They're already running off the track.
Gunstone was definitely a bit quick there, but he hangs onto it by hair, it would seem.
Well then, looks to me like Jonathan Bain is thinking about a move here. This is a competition of lap time, not racing, so they've got to be careful not to make too much contact with each other, but they should get their times across the line momentarily. Gunstone really struggling to keep control of this thing, and Bain, he goes deep into the final turn. What is this lap going to be? Did Sam Gunstone invalidate his lap along the way too? We'll have to wait and see as they come across the line. It's a 53.656 for Gunstone. And it is a 53.8 for Jonathan Bain. So that is a B on the board for Jonathan Bain.
It's very close between these two. I mean, it is a bit amusing to see, yes, this is all about lap time. Jonathan not opting to give some space to Gunstone ahead. He's opting to stay on the rear bumper all the way down here. It's watching the... Unfortunately, production feed, I can't hear what's happening to Jonathan's engine, but I can just see what's happening to it. And oh goodness me, that's...
Oh god, I'm gonna be sick.
Jay Kennedy producing.
I didn't do that on purpose. I'm sorry.
No, big spins! Sam Gunstone is going to be faster on this lap, and no, Ben's still on the track. So Sam Gunstone will cross the line. That is a BM on the board for Jonathan Bain as they come around to start the 3rd lap of this race.
All right, no pressure, Jonathan. Just got to now push without going off the track. And turn 1 almost comes undone there.
Commentator's curse seen in perfect effect there. Keep it on track for turn 1 as he runs wide.
Yeah.
What can I say? Tonight is the night that the commentator's curses can and shall be applied at will, it seems. Probably, yes, not helped by the fact that said other commentator made things a bit difficult, as that's locked brakes front and then a locked rear tyre with the differential. But he keeps it going here, so...
Gunstone crosses the line, 49.9. We'll wait for Jonathan Bain to come across the line here to confirm whether or not he is slower. It is not looking good for him, though. He is going to come across the line with an extra over 51 seconds, so that is B.M.W. for Jonathan Bain. You are out. and that means that Sam Gunstone will move on to round 2.
Oh, that's
Wow.
quite a nice landing
look at
spot
that.
he's found there.
Yeah, fantastic. Upside down, as you do.
Good old sticky fences that iRacing do present for us. So,
One of the cheats
Next.
from the last Maxx Bantz coming out next race.
ooh.
Zach Johnson, that is. Hello, Zach. we say cheats, remembering that he, along with the fellow iRacing production staff members, working together to try and manipulate the last Maxx Bantz to make sure one of them won it. And it backfired and none of them did.
Now, if my memory serves me right, Maxx Bantz 17 was a
Game of tag.
game of tag at Tsukuba 1000.
That's correct.
Okay,
Yes, it
so
was.
good. Okay, so my memory isn't sketchy, but unfortunately, I don't remember the iRacing staff gang up shenanigans. So clearly, my attention span was not as good as it should have been. So we'll see how things go for them in this one. So they await on the grid, and we now hand over to Reese.
Yes, we will. So, this matchup will begin in 3, 2, 1, go. And the drivers will get started. It looks like a better initial jump off the line there from Zach Johnson, who is certainly a man familiar to me, has directed many of the broadcasts on Global Sim Racing channel that I do, but oh goodness gracious, locking up on the way into turn 1. Let's see what he can do to stay ahead of Jack Butler, who seems to be carrying a great turn of pace here.
You know the other thing that's surprising, just because you made it a qualifying session,
Oh.
they need to be careful not to run into each other here.
Yeah,
Because
don't
of
get a
course,
4X.
the good old-fashioned 0x will
The other part to that
count.
too is how bad the setup is. How easily will they get a meatball if they do make contact? Zach Johnson off the track. Oh, it nearly hits the pit wall.
So it looks like Jack Butler is going to be the faster driver on this lap. We will await to see Zach Johnson get back going here. Don't forget, for those of you asking in the broadcast chat, we're playing the game of horse. Best 3 of 5 laps here. The loser has to spell B.M.W. It is a 58.5 for Jack Butler, and Zach Johnson is still getting going at the final turn. So I think we can confirm that this is going to be a B on the board for Zach Johnson.
yes, that's putting it mildly, I think, because unfortunately Zach has spun twice on that opening lap. So the big old invalid time. That's a bit deep on the brakes at turn 1, Zach. And he almost had it held up.
Oh, no!
Is that a 1x for going in the grass for
It
the round?
was. It was.
Yeah,
I can see
so-
it on the in-sim
Yes, because you'll have some...
incident
And-
points.
Oh, that's true. I can see the incident points too. It's beautiful. I just have to remember to switch screens. All right, I'll bring that one up and just keep an eye on that tonight then, I think, because... yes, that's the all-important screen of destiny.
51-0.
Now, Reese, has been a question around the Brown Star. Will we be rewarding a Brown Star tonight?
I
don't know how we
we'll
would.
see. We'll see. We'll have to wait and see.
Ross Rizzo
But-
also wanting a reverse grid race.
Oh God! Well, we'll see what we can do about that for a for a future Maxx Bantz. But I think we can confirm that that is going to be a BM on the board for Zach Johnson. Now, all that Jack Butler needs to do is complete this lap, and then we can see if Zach Johnson will be able to get it to the line without crashing, and he won't. He has just gone for another crash at turn 2. So Jack
Oh,
Butler
dear.
will come across the line, and it looks like
Oh.
Zach Johnson has meatballed the car. It is crabbing something fierce. The suspension is destroyed on the number 15 Mercedes. It is a 51.5 for Jack Butler, which means that it is a BMW on the board for Zach Johnson. You are out. Unfortunately, Jack Butler moves on to round 2.
That he does. Now, curiously, he did have an invalid lap apparently on the first one. But, well, given he was
Was
faster...
still slower. Yeah, so
Yeah,
Johnson was still slower.
we don't need to have this one carry on for the sake of formalities. What are formalities?
Reese,
As Johnson does attempt to bring this car back to the pit lane the only way he seems to know how now, which is crabbing backwards. It's a look, but it seems like an
Match up.
appropriate look for tonight.
matchup number 9, Reese. Have we still got that one happening, or I'm just trying to see? I don't think we've got either driver in the session.
Got Travis and Alexander Sayre. Indeed. neither of those drivers are
yeah.
here tonight.
To clarify, yeah, guys, it looks to me like that's going to mean that Daniel Stevens is going to automatically move on to round 3.
Stevens has
thanks
made
to
the
all
final
of
8
that.
for this one. You'll be happy about that.
Yeah, without
Congratulations,
even
Dan.
putting in any effort at all. Congratulations to Dan.
He did say that he hit the wall in his practice and got a 12-minute meatball, so he's been doing some practice.
It looks to me like Dylan Baum might not be in the session. So I think that means with Dylan not in the session, we can go for the win by default to Ethan Stanley. So we will move on to round 2 momentarily.
Well, there we go. The first round of Maxx Bantz 18 complete, and now we can introduce some of the people who got to promote to round 2 without having to go through the first stage of the gauntlet.
This one will be locked.
So who are the lucky ones to get through without having to get through round 1?
Olivia Haywood, who was ranked position number 1 in the lucky hat draw that Sperry magically did somehow. Got
it's
the first
hat
free
draw.
kick, so
That
Olivia
explains a lot.
Haywood goes off against Lachlan Capel in the next event, and I can confirm that Olivia is not happy. Complain that why did you put me against someone that's good?
Well, yes, Lachlan
Olivia's
Capel's
not very optimistic about her chances.
that is indeed true. Yes, Capel's certainly a.
Capel did have a big moment right at the start of that first race, so very, very easy to forget how bad the setup is and end up in the fence.
Yeah, indeed, that is going to be important. As for all of your talents in an iRacing GT3 car, Lachlan, this is probably not one of the ways, or one of the ones I should say, that you expected to test them. So, let us get round 2 underway at Reese's command.
Indeed we shall. The first race of round 2 will commence in 3, 2, 1, go. Let's see how this matchup goes. This is going to be Olivia Haywood's first proper laps in this session, and oh dear, she's actually okay. She's getting some distance. She's getting some distance between herself and Lachlan Capel. I think that's a pretty smart decision, actually. You don't want to
when
be
you see
too
that
close.
much smoke from the car ahead to turn 1.
God, yeah.
Yeah, I think that was a very appropriate plan there. Although in saying that, Capel had a very good opening sector on that run there, it seemed. Quite quick. Unfortunately, this track doesn't have sectors. At least my timing software doesn't see any sectors.
Yeah, likewise.
So I can't.
So we'll just make it up.
Oh, I take that back. It does. I had to go and re-enable them for some reason. So in the first
we'll do
sector,
the same
a 28.2 for Capel versus a 30.7 for Olivia Haywood, and across the line, it's a 51.1 for Capel first lap. Haywood comes to the line now, and it's a 55.2. So
That means it's going to be a B on the board for Olivia Haywood.
there are the magic words from Mr. Reese Gardner. And we now await to see what this second lap looks like. I believe like a 26.2 for Capel in the first sector on lap 2 here.
That's good.
He's deciding to put down the hammer, although he's almost matched by Olivia. 26.5 on this second lap for Olivia. So that's it's a good improvement there on lap 2 this time. So up and over the hill. Whoa, there's that moment on the power down for Capel out of the hill there. He still makes it a 48.8 with a that time there across the board, but Haywood, oh, not quite, a 49.9 for Olivia on her second lap. So
one of the best laps we've seen in the entirety of the actual racing segment of this event, and it still gives a letter. Oh no!
Absolutely. That is a B-M on the board for Olivia Haywood.
And it may be a W with that.
If Capel keeps it on the track, it's a W by default. So all we need to do now is just get this across the line without damaging the car too much more. Or
Get in there, Olivia. Go, Olivia.
Oh goodness! Olivia's car is well and truly damaged.
Loses it. Oh no!
The bounce
absolutely
off.
smashed into the wall.
Okay, so a 56.8. Remember that one. Wait, Capel's time was valid.
Yeah, all right. Well, that means that is a B.M.W for Olivia Hayward. She is out. Lachlan Capel moves on to round 3.
All right. Well, how about that? For a second, I thought we were going to have to just double check the times, although it ended up being a bit convincing, unfortunately, for Olivia there at the very end of that one. But no, Capel somehow kept the car valid at the end of that one. So we go to the second race of round 2. Nate Stewart and Ben Cox. So they now take to the circuit for our second matchup in round number 2.
Yeah, congratulations to Olivia Hayward for giving it a go. She was slightly stiffed, I will acknowledge, by the bracketing there, but hey, that is just sometimes
Blame
how
Sperry.
it works. Yeah,
Blame
blame
Sperry.
Sperry.
Sperry's not
indeed.
here, so we can blame Sperry for everything.
Yeah, well, actually, we can actually blame Sperry for this because he's the one who actually did the random draw for the brackets. But it is time to get this race going. Nate Stewart versus Benjamin Cox can commence their racing in 3, 2, 1, go! And it looks like the tactics are on here again. They are waiting for some distance here as Nate Stewart sitting here at the line. Is he actually getting ready to go?
There
we
it
go,
goes.
finally.
Just as I jump on board with him to make sure the car was behaving, because I could hear some form of revs. I was just a little bit curious as to what was going on there. So we get this bracket underway.
Reese, you'll be happy to see the newly trending hashtag in the Traction Twitch chat.
Oh, yes.
Hashtag blame Sperry. Absolutely
yeah.
perfect.
Oh, yeah. I love it. I love it. Of course, the reason Jake Sperry is not here is because he is commentating some real-life racing at Snetterton. So, genuine congratulations to Sperry for that one. But yes, we will blame everything that goes wrong in this event on you. Benjamin
Anything
Cox.
that goes right, we did it all ourselves.
Yes, of course. Well, Benjamin Cox now is coming up to the line. It's a 55.8 for him. What is the first time going to be for Nate Stewart? Oh, I've just seen that Zach Johnson, briefly, Zach Johnson is doing laps around the Hockenheim Grand Prix circuit, as it's a 52.7 for Nate Stewart. That is going to be
well done there,
a B
Zach,
on the
in the
board
meantime.
for Benjamin Cox.
Well, that's rather impressive. I actually wasn't fully aware that you could just escape the Porsche Experience Centre. But, well, the more you know about this place, thanks to the iRacing staff for making it possible. But, let's have a look here and see where things are at for this lap. Ben Cox at 27.5. Nate Stewart faster once again in Sector 1. So, as long as he gets up the hill here and that looks all nice and steady, it's a 51.17 that he has to beat on this second lap. But odds are looking good here. And indeed, yes, a 49.0. As, oh no, Ben Cox has spun. So it's a BM for Benjamin Cox. And now it's just going to take a chance for consolidation here.
We will have to wait, though, for him to... Well, there's potential for Cox to go a lap down here. I think it's going to happen.
Stuart started
Benjamin
behind,
Cox. Well, yeah, actually, Nate Stewart has started behind. Here we go. So the race is still on, guys. The race is still on.
Nate Stewart started with that bizarre tactic at the start that we were questioning whether his car was even working. But there's no doubt about it now, because Cox is done. He can't even get it around the track.
Unfortunately, that car has found the fence a fair few too many times. So Nate Stewart down the final part of the circuit. Another 49.1 for him, and I believe it is time for Reese to say the magic words.
Maybe not, because we still have another lap to run here. I think we will let the guys run their laps. That was the third?
That was
Yeah,
the
that's
third.
B.M.W, yeah.
So that
You
is
missed the
going
BM
to
call.
be a B.M.W, I believe, for Benjamin Cox.
Yep.
So, unfortunately, for you, Ben, you are out here with your spins, and that means that Nate Stewart is going to move on to the third round.
Next round is Thomas, Byrne, and Anderson up next. So Alex Anderson, at the moment, if we're putting a brown star up for grabs, Anderson is winning the Brown Star with 114 incident points in this session.
Wow. But don't forget that most of those incidents would have been gained before the commencement of the event. So
Yeah, I don't think
does
he's
that
even
still
got one
count?
since it started.
Yeah.
Now, I'm very curious. Is there any rule that says they can't start like way back from the start-finish line?
Not necessarily.
Don't give them
but we
ideas
do
at this
want-
point.
we
You've
do
got to
want
wait until
drivers to pull onto the line. Yes, we do.
Just middle of round 2 surprise packets. I suppose you're not wrong there.
And we are away. I just gave the call in sim. Let's see
Indeed you
who
did.
can get this going here between Anderson and Byrne. They are very close on the start here. Big lockup once again from both cars. Let's see who actually gets into it here.
Oh, Burns suffering from a bit of understeer. He's actually driven Anderson to the grass.
Oh dear. So, drama here. Contact between the two drivers. Who is going to run quicker here? Thomas Byrne is continuing on, but Alex Anderson very slow to get going after getting put into the grass. So there's going to be some distance between them here as they get across the start-finish line. There's about a quarter of a lap separating these two.
Yes, so up over the hill we go. Anderson absolutely throwing it through the carousel section. To hell or high water with potential car damage. He will carry on here. Thomas Byrne's lap was a 57.45 and valid. Anderson's would have been a 103, but it was off track. So, letter B on the board for Alex Anderson, but he now has a chance to really close the gap to Byrne ahead as Zach Johnson continues to lap the Hockenheim circuit backwards. I've also just noticed.
Yes, indeed. He is driving
Well, hang on.
backwards.
Hang on a
He's not the
second.
only one out there as well.
Chad Dalton's joined him out there as well.
Okay, so it looks like the Hockenheim Grand Prix circuit is the playground now for the drivers who are already out of the session. I disqualified one of the drivers right at the start, and I've forgotten to disqualify anyone else. So looks to me like it's going to be bedlam out there. But they are coming across the line. Thomas Byrne sets a 53.7, and it is what is that going to be for Alex
48.9.
Anderson? 48.9.
So it's
So-
B each.
That is a B on the board for both drivers.
Oh, it's happened again. In exactly the same spot too.
Goodness
Anderson's
gracious.
a lot better in this car with what we've got going on here. Oh, is Byrne actually blocking the circuit now?
Oh god, I have no idea. It's hard to tell with the amount of instability in this Mercedes AMG. They're trying desperately to stay in the same piece of racetrack. This is going to be such a close matchup here. Remember, this decides who gets through into the second bracket of round 3. Let's have a look then as they come across the line. Oh, did they both manage to keep it on the track is the big question. Byrne is going to cross the line with Anderson, and looks like neither lap valid.
Oh,
dear.
they're both spun. They're both
Okay.
spun at 1 and 2.
Anderson's lap was 2 seconds quicker, so he does
Anderson's
win that
lap.
second lap.
Okay, cool. Anderson's lap 2 seconds quicker. That is a BM on the board for Thomas Byrne.
Yep, but small problem for Alex Anderson now. He's fallen a long way behind with that spin and kerfuffle there at 1 and 2 for both drivers, so I would not be surprised if we see
BM
Thomas
for
Byrne's
both
lap.
after this.
BM for both, and it's going to come down to the final lap drag. As they come through this second portion of the lap here over the carousel. Nice gentle line there from Byrne. Oh, Anderson spins. That is most certainly a BM going to be on the board for for Anderson. So it's all tied up here. And well, we're going to have to wait a while here to confirm if
1019 for Thomas Byrne, but I don't know how this is going to work here. It's going to be a slower lap for Alex Anderson, it seems.
Oh no!
Oh, and spinning again. Looks like we can confirm that this is going to be a BM on the board for both drivers. One of you has to go faster on this next lap.
All right, I think we're going to have to rely on Jay's overlay for this, at least in Thomas Byrne's favour, because he's at that spin at the roundabout. Alex, could you pretty please have a clean lap here to finish this one off, so we can at least count your time without having to worry about it. But we've got plenty of time to sort of also figure it out here, thanks to the fact that where are you, Thomas? Number 21. Ta-da! I have found you. Just thrown it off the road.
No! Into
That's
the wall.
That's a Wild X again.
Yeah.
Also found Nils Stroven parked by the side of the circuit. Nicely done, Nils. Where are you, Alex? There you are. Found you coming past pit entry.
104.5 for Byrne. Let's see what it is for Anderson. Remember that 104.565 was the lap for Thomas Byrne. And Alex Anderson now will come across the line. This is going to be faster.
Oh, by just a little bit.
Yep, by just a little bit. Confirming then, that is a B.M.W. for Thomas Byrne. Alex Anderson moves forward into round 3.
Well, I believe that's one of the first ones we've had that goes all the way to a
Yep.
5-lap duel.
Yeah.
So, getting a little bit interesting here right at the start of it all. So, the next matchup for round 3 is going to go to Tommy Teasdale and Daniel Muth, who I can... Oh, there he is, 888.
Yep.
Man has
I will call.
made it to the bottom of the list. So, we can continue with our matchups here in round 2.
Before you got into the session, Dan, Daniel Murth was the pace setter in the qualifying session before everyone started to work it out. He was about half a second quicker than everyone else for quite a long while. So Murth may be a little bit of a favourite in this one. Don't want to put the commentator's curse on him. I'm pretty sure if he doesn't win, he might be saying something similar to the back of his car there.
Pray tell, actually, it's a... Ah, yes, that indeed would be quite the appropriate exclamation, I dare suggest, as he parks it right on the line. So there's a different strategy from Muth.
No, I think he started the lap there. Unfortunately, that might be a slower time there. Okay, so this match is going to start in 3, 2, 1, go. And already at a disadvantage here.
Oh,
Is
no.
Daniel Muth. Oh, God.
He has gotten away by the skin of his teeth, Reese. It just ticked
has
over to
he?
lap 38 for Daniel Muth there as we got this one underway properly. So he lined it up by the millimetre, I dare suggest. And yes, certainly that qualifying pace, or practice pace I suppose you'd probably call it, that looks to be showing quite evidently here in the first half of this lap alone. So yes, watch out for this man to progress through to round 3 without much of a fuss, unless it gets a bit exciting in the next couple of corners.
Let's see then. Well, Muth manages to get through cleanly, but unfortunately, it seems that Teasdale does not. So I think this is going to be a slower lap this time round for Tommy Teasdale. Daniel Muth with a pretty much clean lap. He is going to make it to the end of this lap and set a 53.6. Meanwhile, it's going to be a 56.9 for Tommy Teasdale. That is a B on the board for Tommy Teasdale.
I mean, I'm just watching Muth in the 888 car right now lap this circuit, and just, despite the fact that we've got the softest springs known to man, it seems, and all of the open differential, he's absolutely monstering this car through the opening sector in particular. And even up here, as we come past pit entry in the little pit lane section, he's really throwing it into the carousel. Obviously,
That he is.
don't want to damage the front end too much if you can avoid that for later in the event, perhaps. But maybe stamping his authority, to put it mildly, here with his first 2 laps in round 2.
That's
And
the fastest
yes,
lap of the day.
yep, that's most certainly stamping his authority. He spun it in turn 2, though.
So Teasdale's just got to keep it clean here, and he's back in with a shot. Oh, no.
Oh, Teasdale's
Commentator's
joined him.
curse is on.
Oh, I love it. And, well, he's still
this
got a
is great.
chance here, because Muth had parked that thing for such a long time because Teasdale literally spun into his path. If Teasdale can get this car going again here, he could still beat Muth on this 3rd lap and continue the fight for one more time here. We'll have to wait and see, as Muth is really extending the track limits to make sure that this is as fast as it can be in spite of the spin. Teasdale.
Opening sector times almost identical, despite both of them spinning. So this is going to be close.
Yeah, you're not wrong. A tenth and a half separates, no, 2.5 tenths separates Daniel Muth and Tommy Teasdale across the line to 102.4, and actually a valid 102.4 for Daniel Muth.
Oh, that's
Tommy
it.
Teasdale, what have you got in you?
1030. That is a B.M.W. on the board for Tommy Teasdale. Tommy is out. Daniel Muth moves forward to round 3.
And there's now only one former champion left, and he is in this race right now. Eric Tilly, who is going up against the Spanish Inquisition, as Sperry's called him.
Oh, yes.
His actual name
The
on
Spanish
the bracket.
Inquisition.
Inspinsition, thank you.
That seems even more appropriate for the occasion.
Who also got a free pass in round 1, so now having his first run out there for a long while.
Yes. Oh, I see how it's done. In fact, it's quite a very easy jump out onto the Hockenheimring circuit because it's such an open infield. Well, oh no, Teasdale has found the fence cutting off the short from the Grand Prix layouts. He's going to go and navigate some... He did need to, and I think his car is ejected back to the pits. Perhaps. Right, well, the more fun you know for this race...
Do you think everyone's going to be trying to do laps of the full circuit after this finishes? I think all of them will be out there. Oh, look at the run up. They're all trying to get sneaky little... Look at them.
Oh dear.
Love it. I can hear someone crashing in the background.
Yeah, that was Tom Holland in the 95 car. He got himself stuck on the fence. But we'll worry about him later because the actual race that we should be paying attention to has begun. And indeed, that is a relatively flying start for the 88 machine. Some rather unfortunate words on the rear bumper of that Mercedes out front that I feel like maybe some chase cam is worth getting some eyes on that. Harsh truths? Or do we consider them just facts of life?
all been there.
Oh, looks like front end grip is a lie.
They're both taken to the grass though.
Oh dear.
At the pit entry corner. So this could get a bit interesting. Eric's lap will need to rely on the overlay from Jay here, I think, to confirm the times. But it should be certainly in Eric's favour, a 54.86. Yeah, okay, that's a non-event then.
Alright, so that confirms this is going to be a B on the board for Ignacio Box Pla.
Alright then. Second lap underway for both these drivers. Eric's looking steady there in Sector 1. What can Ignacio do on this lap here into turns 1 and 2? Oh, left rear is up and around it goes.
Oh, yeah, another spin once again, but and Tilly has mucked it up too.
Well, there's a bit of spice to get lap 2 going, and Ignacio's absolutely burning the left rear up around the roundabout as he tries to get going again. I'm impressed that you can actually set the differentials in such a way that it actually drives like this.
Yeah,
I mean, I understand it's basic physics, but even so.
It's more to do with the spring perch offset on the left rear that makes it not touch the ground. That and the fact that the traction control is off. That was a 102.5 from Eric Intilli, at least I believe it was. Intilli with a much better recovery, Tantusar points out in the Traction Twitch chat, as Pla spins it at the final corner. 102.5 for Intilli, remember that, and it looks like that is going to be a BM on the board for Ignacio Box Pla. All Eric Intilli needs to do now is complete the end of this lap, and if Pla ends up spinning on this next lap, then he will be out.
Yeah, so far so good. One more corner for Intilli to navigate here at the top of the hill. And that time, nice and steady as she goes. This one should count on the board, so it's going to have to be a bit of a miracle for Ignacio here. And a 51.1 there. Actually, no, an invalid lap, but a 51.19 I saw there flash up. So Ignacio's got a moment here to try and recover, but has to not spin to make sure that it's he's got a chance of continuing to fight.
Yes, so coming
And-
on spun. There we go. So it looks like Intilli might have just managed to get this done here, and Pla might go a lap down from here. Intilli's coming up to the final corner. It's going to be close here. Oh,
No.
and Intilli spins.
Intilli throws away. Okay, so Intilli's lap was invalid
gonna
last
matter
time
anyway.
around. Ignacio Pla's lap, a 59.2 though. That is going to be the triple. So, them's the word. Ignacio Pla, we say farewell. And at least one of our former champions, or sons of banter, I should say, survives another race. So, up next is going to be Ross Rizzo and Sam Gunstone, Jay. So, we now see these two drivers take to the track once Sam gets going here. There we go.
Should be an interesting heat there. I mean, or this one. And both of their times aren't too far away. But can we give bonus points to Sam Gunstone just for the hashtags he's got in his car? I mean, hashtag horse but spelt wrong. Then hashtag on the front, hashtag never WinRAR. Love it.
I have to say, it's a credit to everyone who goes and finds either weird paints or comes up with some incredibly crazy creation for the specific purpose of this event. So, we now await the signal from race. 3, 2, 1, go, he says. So, oh, here we go.
Oh,
Look what
Rizzo.
Ross Rizzo's doing.
Oh,
It's
dear.
happened.
He's been listening to us. I can confirm he's been in the YouTube chat on the SimSpeed channel for a little bit. So he's been listening to us talking about potential strategies. And I
Gunstone's
quite like
spun.
it. Gunston's had a spin.
Okay, well, this should hopefully be a slam dunk for Ross Rizzo if he doesn't drive into him or spin himself later on in the lap.
Well, Rizzo's keeping it
Apparently,
nice and
race sim
stable.
drivers out on the Grand Prix circuit need a DQ clear. Apparently.
Okay.
Yeah, I can do that.
Yeah, Jay is an admin in the session too. He can do that.
Well, there you go. Save the children.
Can I just
Let me
DQ them
conti-
all?
DQ them all. Oh god, yeah.
But that would end the fun. I thought we were here to promote the fun.
Well, coming to the end of the lap then is Ross, the bridesmaid Rizzo, and up to the start-finish line he will come. This looks like it's going to be a reasonable time for a first lap, nice and clean, a 54.424. Meanwhile, Sam Gunstone already over a minute, so this is going to be a B on the board for Sam Gunstone.
All right, so Rizzo's had a decent start to that lap there as well, which will make things a bit more challenging for Gunstone to recover here, but we can see what he can do there. Now, got some space to himself here to just try and drive the car. As difficult as we continue to watch Rizzo here. Up and over pit entry through the little carousel. That's all looking nice and steady and safe as well, so I think, once again, Rizzo making sure to get 2 on the board at the very least here, if not all 3 in rapid succession.
2 tenths between them in the first sector at the sector timing, so it's going to be pretty close. 49.7 for Rizzo. Gunstone could finish this lap off. He might pip him here in this last little sector.
That is true indeed. Let's keep an eye on the time here for Gunstone as he makes his way down the hill. And unfortunately, he's going to fall just short there, Jay. Only about a second off, though. So, BM on the board for Sam Gunstone in that case. And now, one more lap, ideally for Ross Rizzo here to get this one signed, sealed, and delivered through to round number 3.
How good's the chippies with the seagull?
Oh, that's brilliant. That's fantastic.
It's a solid look there for Ross as he comes down the hill off the final turn. That's looking like another good lap, and a 49.3 for him. We now await Sam Gunstone. He's
Gunstone
coming
was
over the
quicker
hill.
in the first sector.
Can he save it at the dying moments? Going to be close here. 49.3 to beat.
No.
And unfortunately, he will not be able to improve. And
we
in fact,
move on to our last race in this round, second round, which will be Butler and Stanley.
that is indeed.
And we're going to have a little break for a couple of minutes while we ease our mental calculators, because this has been a little bit more intense than we were prepared for a Maxx Bantz.
Well, it's
We've had to get the pen and paper out. I couldn't tell you the last time a Maxx Bantz needed pen and paper.
You pulled out the pen and paper.
This is an absolutely insane way to run an event, especially with me here in the race control booth, actually running everything here behind the scenes. I hope this is turning out to be a good broadcast for everyone out there. Let's begin this race then. In 3, 2, 1, go! The final race of round 2 begins. Jack Butler gets off to a better start here, but it's going to be a drag race as Ethan Stanley gets a slightly better power down on the way down the straight into the first turn. Okay, let's see if they can give each other a good amount of space and we can get some laps completed here.
Well, you said a better initial launch. It was more like able to get the better dump of the engine onto the ground, but Stanley's run far better once the initial rollaway was sorted, and so now they're going to try and find a little bit of space as they come up to the pit entry, and both going in very hot there, and Butler's gone in a bit too hot there, to put it mildly, as we watch Stanley there in the foreground make his way up and over the hill. Well, that should be more or less signed, sealed, and delivered for Stanley on this lap. He comes to the line at 53.3 for him. Will seal the deal here for lap number 1.
It will indeed. So confirming that is going to be a B on the board for Jack Butler.
All right. Does he have any recovery here on lap 2? He's just got his lap underway. That looked nice and steady for Butler in the sector 1. Continue to watch Stanley here, though, making his way down to the pit entry turn. It's all looking in hand here. Jane Reese, fires that one through the carousel that time.
Gracious, Stanley is really pushing it, isn't he? He actually seems to have a pretty good handle on this car now as he comes down the straight here. Coming up to the start-finish line, will he go sub 50 seconds? Yes, he will. 49.6. That is a good time there. Let's see then what Jack Butler can do here as he comes up to the final corner. 49 is the time to beat, and it's not going to be good for Jack Butler. That is going to be a BM on the board for Jack.
All right, one final chance for Butler to get it back, and nearly lost it straight away at turn 2.
Oh,
Where
wow.
is Mr. Stanley? There he is. Coming up and over the pit entry and carousel for what he will hope was the last time in round 2. All looks calm and controlled from the number 8 car, and he's able to get through that final corner without that causing problems. That's good to see. So, to the line he comes. Stanley puts a 49.5 on the board. All right, Jack, have you got anything here in the dying seconds for Ethan? I'm not quite sure you do, unless you've got some magic run down the hill here.
Spin.
And no, that is not going to be enough to improve, unfortunately, to beat. So indeed, we say farewell to the 78 of Jack Butler from round 2 of Maxx Bantz 18. He will have to join the field back in pit lane, or perhaps whilst we take this quick break, the group of drivers who are currently circulating around the Hockenheim Grand Prix circuit. So, round 3 will commence in a couple minutes' time, but it is a chance here for Reese to take a quick breather as, well, here's what Hockenheim looks like when you drive it in reverse with the most broken car in the world. So,
It's that broken that my timing actually said that the guys were doing 327 kilometers an hour into the hairpin.
That's actually quite the achievement, yes.
I mean, that's not accurate, but because it's done off GPS tracking, but 100% not accurate, but it's still pretty cool to see.
We can see once they get some speed up and maybe some downforce going, fun enough, it behaves. Although
No, it
it's
doesn't.
no, forget I ever said that, because indeed,
There you go.
there's Nate Stewart proving me very wrong indeed. So we apparently have several drivers out there on the circuit. So Zach Johnson, where is he on the list? Why can I not see him when I want to find him?
Oh, they're at the drag strip.
We've got ourselves a drag race getting ready to go here. Tommy Teasdale and Zach Johnson were parked up at the... And I think either a bit of miscommunication there, but Teasdale gets the jump. Oh, and it's a drag race with a chicane as well, Jay, just to add a bit of flavour to the race, to the whole thing.
You want that left-hand lane, because then there's no chicane, and then by the time they get to the end of the straight here, they're doing around about 260 Ks with only 3 wheels touching the ground properly. It's very impressive. Well done, boys.
Well, yes. Well, the Bantz...
Oh!
Oh, hello there, as we just check in with Zach Johnson. I completely missed it. Hang on. So he's decided to... Oh, good grief! Yeah, so... Hello and farewell to Thomas Byrne here, as we check back in on this moment on the replay. So Thomas Byrne, minding his businesses, maybe watching out for the drag race runners, and enter stage right at speed. And exit stage up.
How to get sent to the moon? Who needs SpaceX?
Is that car? That car was stuck in the skybox, wasn't it?
It was. It went a bit bizarre. We're going to get back into some normality now. Welcome back, Rex.
Let me just unmute my mic and get all of my windows up again before I announce.
Well, the next one is going to be
running.
the first race in round 3 will be Lachlan Capel versus Nate Stewart.
Indeed it will. I shall announce that in sim, guys. Get ready to go. This is going to be a great matchup.
Definitely will be. It's going to be. Is Ted still loving what's going on out in the outfield?
There is more chaos occurring at the end of the drag strip. Yes, Jackie's. Yeah, Nate Stewart just sent his car to the Shadow Realm as a final. Oh my word! His car immediately went vertical and then up over the fence. So he's got himself a completely brand new car here for round number 3. So that timing probably couldn't be better. And I think, yes, Thomas Byrne does indeed perhaps deserve to be renamed SpaceX for Maxx Bantz 19 when that happens. Oh, look at this. Here we are, round number 3, and it's beginning. It has begun. All right,
and the race will begin.
At some point,
When
once they
they're
decide they've got enough revs. Or is this going to be the biggest game of chicken? The answer is it's going to be the biggest game of chicken we can find today. So, they actually go for a pretty equal across the line, but I have to say Nate Stewart, they're a little more confident away. So, first lap for these two drivers. Oh, they've both wobbled through turn 2.
Gentle.
All the pressure on who can be the first to put a B on the board for their opponent, as they then struggle through this little section of the track where the car decides that one wheel up is mandatory and not optional. So who gets this part right here on the first lap? And oh goodness, look at that. Nate Stewart deciding every part of the track is appropriate to use. And well, yeah, fair enough.
It's just an absolute clench moment every single time they get on the brakes, man. It is absolutely insane. But we are going to get our first times of this race in for Stewart. It's a 52.4. It's a 52.6 for Lachlan Capel. So that is a B on the board for Lachlan Capel.
Now, this could be interesting here because... Oh, Capel's going to... Oh, he's actually...
No.
Espionage at the highest order.
Well, this is going to get dramatic.
Well then,
Is there anything against the rules of that? I mean, they're both going to get 2Xs or 4X penalty contact penalties, so their laps won't count. So it's going to have to come down to our timing, which means Capel should win this lap.
Well, Reese is our overlord for the evening, so
You know, I think I won't want contact to decide this, so I'm going to decide that this lap is invalidated. I will say that in sim, guys, and they'll get another chance.
I like that call.
that's a fair point. There should be a game of actually being able to master the car, not a demolition derby. So
Poke your opponent. We've had those before.
yeah, certainly need to clamp down on the carnage, especially since, yes, whilst I haven't had a chance to fully immerse myself in the glorious history of Maxx Bantz, certainly I've seen enough of the announcement trailers to know that contact has been a bit of a problem in the past for some of the events. So
Sometimes it's been encouraged, but yeah, I think for this one, because it's a lap time competition, we shouldn't allow contact to decide the full-on results. So this time will not count for Lachlan Capel, and the time won't count either for Nate Stewart.
well, this one should, because we had our invalid lap last time by, and Nate Stewart puts a half second on Capel that time, so actually that would mean it's a BM for Mr. Capel on this lap.
Goodness, the laps go by quickly, don't they?
They do indeed.
I mean, they are only 48 seconds long, so...
Yeah, these two boys are both pushing this car pretty hard here tonight, so hopefully Reese makes sure to call what was a BM for Capel.
Yeah, BM for Capel, cool.
Can we get someone to do some laps in the Formula 1 cars and things like that at this track, just on this layout, just to see what comparative lap times we get? These guys are quick.
All right, where are you? No, not Capel. Nate Stewart.
Capel. Oh, Capel spun.
25. He was a bit slower in sector 1 this lap, but not much. See what sector 2's like here. This could be the BMW here and now.
Yeah,
That's not. He's 10, 11 seconds off.
11
never mind
seconds off. Okay, that is a B on the board for Nate Stewart.
Capel, as we saw, has had a spin on this one.
Yeah. As the tide turns, so they say. I think, well, this is now going to be fairly well set and sorted. Unless something dramatic here happens at the end for Nate Stewart. And
almost did.
close, but all's fair within track limits, and you can see there Capel already over 55 seconds. So I believe it is time to fare thee well. Unless something goes wrong here for Stewart, and no, Stewart is clean.
Yeah, there we go. So it is confirmed that is a BMW on the board for Lachlan Capel. Capel is now out, and Nate Stewart moves on to the semi-finals.
Ooh, that was some quality revenge there, I dare have to say. So
This is going to be a tight one. So we've got Alex Anderson and Daniel Mirth up next. The interesting thing about this one is, in regards to actual lap times, they've set the first and the fifth fastest laps in the session. So these two are two of the quickest guys we've got out there. One of the first top class matchups we've had, other than that one we just saw previously just then.
all right then, well, keep yourself posted for this race here. They come to the timing line for this one. Anderson opting to park it right on the line, and Muth is going to more or less join him there. So the race begins in 3, 2, 1, go. There's the signal from Reese. Anderson opts to begin straight away, and there's the delay from Muth.
I don't mind that
Anderson's
delay.
keeping it. Yeah,
It's not much.
It works out well, I think. It gives you a bit of extra space, but yeah, it doesn't give you all that much, especially if Muth is much quicker than Anderson. Anderson, I think, implying in the InSim voice chat that this is his chance for a little bit of redemption, his chance to get through here properly to the end of this event. But coming up to the final sector, he spins on the way into the carousel section. Muth goes by, and he will certainly go faster on this lap.
Yep, that's what we would call an oops-a-daisies. And the 888 has one steady as she goes lap on the board. So, going to see that one come up. A 51.3. Could be one of our fastest laps from a standing start here tonight for good measure, on top of the fastest flying lap. And it's in the hands of Muth. Oh, hello!
Oh, take it easy, mate.
Just as I sing his praises for some of the fastest laps in the session, he opts to detour to the grass. So, well, free kick to Alex Anderson if he can keep this one straight and narrow on this lap.
Oh boy, let's see then what we can do here. Coming up to the final couple of corners on this lap, Anderson enters the final sector, manages to avoid spinning this time. Muth coming out of the final corner, struggling to put the power down, as everyone has all night so far. Oh, that was very close, wasn't it, for Anderson?
It sure was. All kinds of crisscross at the top of the hill. And
oh, Anderson's going to be faster.
Yep. There was an off-track excursion for Muth at the start of that lap there. Oh, Alex.
Alex spins instantly coming into the first couple of turns. Oh, that's a shame.
Well, we trade backhands and almost certainly put a M on the board for Alex once Muth gets hit to the line, but got to get through this lap, of course, so fire it through the carousel as you do. And then start your third and final lap in a moment once you get down there. And just watching Thomas Byrne in the in-game chatter, just keeping an eye on what's happening.
Yeah,
with,
telling him to stop spinning.
Yes.
49.0 for Muth. Let's see what Anderson is able to do. 49.1, remember. Time to beat, but it looks like Alex Anderson is going to be slower. So that is a BM on the board for Alex Anderson.
Yep, into 1 and 2 comes Anderson here on this lap. Meanwhile, check in with Daniel Muth. He's got a nice quick line. Now half a lap ahead or thereabouts. And oh, that's deep into the carousel.
Goodness gracious.
KW Suspensions, would you like to order this man a new set of springs all round? That's
All
another
right.
German brand, is it not?
Potentially. 48.6 for Daniel Muth. Let's see what Anderson can do. Can he go faster and put a BM on the board for Daniel Muth, or will he go slower and put himself out of the running here? Let's see what we can do. 48.6 time
Oh, he
to
beat
beat.
him.
48.606. Oh, this is close. That's
Beat him
going to
by
be a
300s.
BM on the board for Daniel Muth.
300ths of a second.
That is impressive. Talk about leaving it to the dying gasp there, but well, he'll take that.
That was Anderson's fastest lap he's done all night.
Indeed, promotes himself to the 4th fastest time outright with the update there to his windscreen. So, what can Daniel Muth do in return? A 48.5. Oh, okay.
Good response.
Anderson, have you got some magic left in that Mercedes? Because you're going to have to bring it out if you want this to happen. And it was the fastest sector of anyone in Sector 2. Unfortunately, Sector 1 was half a second off.
Oh, there we go. That is going to confirm a B.M.W. for Alex Anderson. Daniel Muth moves into the semi-finals.
And we say farewell to one of our... Thomas Byrne apparently insisting it's an illegal result for Daniel Muth to get through.
Next
But,
race will be Eric and Tilly,
Tilly.
who's won a Maxx Bantz versus the
Ross Rizzo.
yeah, the bridesmaid of Maxx Bantz. I think he's finished second or third in 3 of these races, maybe even 4.
Yeah, Ross
More
has
than we could
certainly, yeah, he's just never gotten the opportunity to get a WinRAR trophy, though he is a veteran of this event. I certainly hope that he will be able to get his name on the board here, but he is up against, of course, that former champion in Eric Intilli, a man who knows what it's like to be a son of banter. Well, they're pulling themselves up to the start-finish line now, and we'll be able to get this underway. This is going to decide the first grid slot in the second of our semi-finals. So, let's get ready to go, guys, in 3, 2, 1, go! Who is going to get the best run off the line? Is Rizzo going to sit still until he's going backwards a little? Oh, they're waiting, they're waiting. Oh, they both go at the same time.
Although I have to say, it looks like Rizzo's got the better jump there, despite not opting to back it up here in round 3, unlike his attempts in round 2. So through the first chicane, it all looks nice and steady for the both of them. But, well, certainly trying to push somewhat here, I would suggest. But who's got the better run there at the end of the sector? I can't tell just yet. We'll have to wait and see what we get here on the board. Sector clock, do your thing. An update, please.
They're both keeping it very clean, I have to say. Like these are two drivers that really have a handle on this car now. Especially, I think, Rizzo, because he's been able to complete stuff cleanly as until he spins behind him. That's going to mean that Rizzo is going to take the faster lap here on the first round. That's going to be a B on the board for Eric Intilli.
Well, pressure was potentially on there for Rizzo to keep it up, and oh,
he spins.
Well,
okay,
you said
Stuck in the fence.
Good opportunity here for Intilli to respond.
All right, just got.
Oh no! No! Oh come on, guys! Seriously?
I think he might have been getting excited about the idea that Rizzo was around. And, oh no, this is trouble. Is that cone stuck in his front splitter?
It is. It's stuck on the front splitter. This could be potential drama here for Intilli. It looks like the cone's a little loose. Will it fire off or will it stay in his bumper here?
No, this could be problematic indeed. So, give me Eric Intilli. And in fact, I have lost the. I cannot see the cone anymore on his splitter.
Okay. Well,
has it been dislodged on your end? It has.
It has. So, to the finish line then. Let's see what the lap is here for Ross Rizzo. It is a 1:03.546. 1:03.546 is the time for Intilli to beat, and he is going to beat it. 59.2. That is a B on the board for Ross Rizzo.
All right. All tied up here as we get the third lap of this duel underway. Intilli, though, loose in the roundabout, hangs onto it, though.
Okay, well, he's managed to put the power down nicely. We'll hopefully get some momentum onto the straight. I'm amazed that these guys are able to actually keep the car controlled through that left-hander. I spun pretty much every single time
don't worry, we saw.
I went through while we were testing the setup.
We saw, Reese. Trust us, we saw.
Oh, yeah.
Troubles for Intilli as Rizzo does a 49.0 and the lap counts. I believe that's basically a giveaway, or a throwaway lap there to Rizzo as, Eric's decided to convert his Mercedes into a lawnmower.
Is he doing that to get a run-up?
If it's a run-up...
It's not a very good one, but...
It'll be, yes. Oh, fantastic. You've actually found a way to show us the letter count live.
I've just
Very fortunate, Jay.
Thank you.
Just quickly.
Do that. I was like, hang on, that worked.
Ta-da!
Right. So now, that's a BM on the board for Eric Intilli. Ross Rizzo just has to go faster here on this lap in order to put Intilli out of the running. So, out of the final corner then, we'll see what the time is for Rizzo here. It's going to be another 49-second one, 49.8 to be exact. Now we'll focus again on Eric Intilli to see if he can beat that 49.802. He's coming into the final sector now.
Just get through the carousel there. Looks okay, but first sector on this lap was actually a bit faster than Ross Rizzo's last first sector. So, you know, if
that's not going to be faster, I don't think.
No.
It won't.
No, it will not
That
be.
is a B.M.W for Eric Intilli. The son of banter is out, and Ross
we're gonna have a
Rizzo
first-time
moves
winner.
into the semi-finals.
And
True, we are
indeed,
going to have a first-time winner.
both of our sons of banter are eliminated. So that means we have one quarterfinal to go.
Dan Stevens versus Ethan Stanley.
And indeed, as Reese reminds the field,
Yes, indeed. Thanks
is-
to
is,
the no-shows, Dan Stevens is actually emerging onto the circuit for the first time tonight in race conditions. So he's been thrown into the deep end, I have to say.
well, he's certainly done some practice. Personal best of a 49.4 for Stevens versus a 49.0 for Ethan. Both in practice conditions, though. And, well,
How's
Oh
that
my
for a
God.
run-up?
Dan! Oh, Dan. Okay, so it looks like we're going to be getting a hell of a run-up here from Daniel Stevens. I'm going to call this start now in 3, 2, 1, go. I hope that Ethan Stanley
Yes.
here we go. Well, Stevens has already started his run-up. He's definitely going to go faster here on the first lap, I hope. Stanley
Well-
is pulled up as far as he can possibly go back now in order to, actually complete the laps in a reasonable time. But I think if Stevens can keep this together, he's almost guaranteed to go faster.
yeah, well, there we go. The benchmark has been set, as it were, for most ambitious run-up of the evening. And we still have the semi-finals and the final to go. So this could go one of two ways, I'd have to say. First sector... Oh, there it is! There it is!
No! Stanley just has to now make sure
but he's got to
he
get
can make his way
around.
past.
He's going to drive around the stricken... Oh, and then the wobble at the exit of the carousel. So it's on. It's on, just not in the way we thought it would be for this first lap. So Stanley should have this one now signed, sealed, and delivered for lap 1. Yes, indeed.
2 versus a 102. That is a B on the board for Daniel Stevens. The start strat backfired.
That's putting it mildly there. So it's all good and well that someone you set yourself up, but you gotta just get through the entire lap, funnily enough, to make sure it all works out. So now they're on the same bit of track. It looks a bit quick into the corner from Ethan, but he pulls
Almost
it up.
identical first sectors between the two.
Oh, this
Yes.
is going to be close.
That is
Only a
true.
tenth between them.
Ethan Stanley up by less than a tenth in Sector 1 on this second lap. Who gets the best run down the hill? All the tyre rubber marks.
49.9
compression.
for Stanley. 49.4 for Stevens. That is a B on the board for Ethan Stanley.
Well, that's quite the turnaround there in the final sector. Half a second and change.
Oh, goodness. Stevens went very deep into the roundabout, didn't he? This could potentially mean that Stanley goes faster. We'll have to keep an eye out for those sector times, though. It's a B each for each of these guys. This is turning out to be quite a close matchup so far.
Stevens 6/10 quicker in the first sector, but he's
Oh,
missed it.
Stevens! Ah, no! Stevens was showing shades of being the man who was the favourite to win here, but it looks like Ethan Stanley is going to put a BM on the board for the Kiwi. This is fantastic. These quarterfinals are turning out to be magnificent. So 49.5 for Ethan Stanley, and this is going to be a BM for Daniel Stevens.
Yep, well, who needs
Stanley's
speed?
around.
Oh, okay,
Oh,
well,
oh
there we
dear.
go. So, Stevens knows he needs to go fast on this lap, but does he make sure he's sensible enough about it? Presumably keep the relative box up, knows that trouble for Stanley in Sector 1, having spun himself, so he'll now know that, okay, just keep this lap together, no need to drive it like a rocket ship through this back half of the lap here, where he's now spun twice, as Ethan's in a bit deep there at the pit entry turn. And yes, there we go, Stevens. Steady there, through the carousel, making sure this one goes on the board, tied up at B and M for both drivers. Yep, both ran the final turn. Here we go. One final lap to decide who will be eliminated at the quarterfinal stage of Maxx Bantz 18.
So, with Stevens going faster on that lap, this is a BM on the board for Ethan Stanley.
All right. Fastest driver wins, or driver who doesn't spin wins. Take your pick. It's a one-lap dash.
Oh boy, this is going to be an interesting one. Ethan Stanley comes into the final sector then. He pushes a little hard, he spins. Oh, this is going to be close here. If Dan Stevens can just keep it together here through these final two corners, he will run a faster lap and he will move on through into the semi-finals to be paired with Ross Rizzo. He keeps a clean exit then from the final corner. Out down the straight we go. Stevens is going to cross the line here, and it's another spin for Ethan Stanley. So that is going to confirm a B.M.W. for Ethan Stanley. Dan Stevens moves through to the semi-final.
Well, maybe some early jitters for Dan Stevens. Maybe just not familiar enough after quite a long wait there before he could come out in race conditions, but he does proceed to the semi-final after his first race for the event. That's a pretty good record there.
What a lineup we got for this first semi-final. Booth and Nate Stewart. Our first and third fastest laps in the entirety of the event, going at it against each other in this first semi.
So that sounds entirely appropriate. Nate maybe has a half a chance, and given a bit of inconsistency from Daniel Muth in that quarter final, anything could happen here. Now, semi-final time.
Last lap, so it's gonna be
anyone going to play the game here? Yes.
Love it.
Does Muth follow suit? He parks it about halfway to the line. All right, then. All right, who launches the car first? Muth's going to go for the back, wind it up back, as Stewart's got that car going. That was a good launch from Stewart. Once again, the driver who sets himself up with the long... commits to the long run-up for lap one here. And gets through the opening chicane nicely, so... ticks that box. Both drivers looking steady there, and Thomas Byrne apparently insisting everyone should start at the start line. None of this nonsense about setting up running jumps, and that's a bit quick into the corner at pit entry from Nate Stewart, I thought, but nope, just lots of locked tyres. He goes through quite... Oh, he's pushing. That is a very fast number 4. Oh. Right, well, there you go. They're both pushing.
I just ruined it. I just ruined that for you. But you're both 2 tenths quicker in the first sector, but this second sector looks better for Stewart.
All right, 49.669 for Stewart. 49.814 for Daniel Muth. That is a B on the board for Daniel Muth.
And all kinds of loosey-goosey through the opening sector. Right, sector 1 times here on lap number 2. What have we got as they approach that sector marker? Personal best for Nate Stewart in this session, 25.4. Fastest overall from Daniel Muth once again at 25.2. 10th and a half and change. Faster,
He's really on it, isn't he?
Nate's going to need another very good finish to this lap. Looks decent, but does Muth have better? Here, a 47.8.
Wow.
All right, then. The gloves are off. A 48.0.
That is a BM on the board for Daniel Muth. New fastest lap of the entire session from Nate Stewart.
Well,
first time we've seen in the 47s.
There you go. If you're going to put the hammer down, put it down now, I guess.
Yeah.
And, yeah, 10th and a half, or 10th and a quarter clear at the top of the charts. That's a little deep there, but okay still. Another and actually slower through sector 1 on this lap. So, and that's not going to help his chances. What has Muth got? Oh, Muth had a bit of a wobbly run through there too. So this could come down to the absolute wire if we're going to get a straight 48.829. It's going to be. Oh no!
7-8 for Muth. Oh goodness, that's a new fastest lap again. That is a B on the board for Nate Stewart.
Well, he saved it to the dying breath, it seems, but he's. Oh no!
Oh no! Muth spins! Oh dear. That is going to secure it here for Nate Stewart. Oh, goodness gracious. As long as he can keep it together through these final couple of corners, that is going to secure his place in the final. Just keep it together, mate. Get it done. Through the final corner, Nate Stewart comes as Bookie_J in the Traction Twitch chat says, that is a heartbreaker indeed. Muth gets the fastest lap of the entire session and unfortunately spins right thereafter. So that is going to confirm a BMW for Daniel Muth. Well raced, but unfortunately you are out. Nate Stewart moves into the final.
Oh boy, well how about that? The man who looked in control in his opening rounds of this format is dethroned by the driver who is coming in number 3. Well,
so this is going to be semi-final. This is going to be semi-final 2. Ross Rizzo and Dan Stevens making their way out. It looks like we have another person making their way out too. It looks like Tom Holland deciding to get back out onto the proper Hockenheim circuit once again as our competitors in semi-final 2 grid up here. Oh man, this is going to be one heck of a matchup. Ross Rizzo and Daniel Stevens are 2 drivers that we've seen plenty of on SimSpeed TV. They are big competitors in many of the Australian leagues here. So it's time. Semi-final number 2 will begin in 3, 2, 1, go! Who gets the best start? Rizzo or Stevens? Rizzo's doing his tactic of hanging back here once again, but Stevens is already going.
that was a good launch from Stevens, and looks like Rizzo's going to match him here off the line. So no run-ups for either driver, but clean starts and clean runs through the opening chicane there for Stevens. He's pushed the track limits a bit hard on the exit of the roundabout, but Rizzo's going to follow pretty similar line through there. So this will be important here. We head towards the timing boards. Who's going to have the best sector one here? 29.4. Going up against a 28.6 for Ross. Well, if that's not a bit of a statement on your opening lap, I have to say I don't think much else will be. Got to get through the final sector here, of course. But, well, looks like Ross might be just here to show who's boss, as Stevens across the line is going to set a 53.0 for the first lap here from the standing start, but Ross Rizzo are 51.3.
Oh, Rizzo! He's gone!
And then.
Oh boy, oh boy. Oh goodness, it looks like people are just carking it right at the end here. We got that in the semi-final just before with Muth, unfortunately, spinning right off, setting a fast lap. It looks like Stevens might be able to get a leg up here on Ross Rizzo as long as he can get his car to the line without crashing. This is going to be another incredibly close match between these two. Rizzo's back up to speed though as Stevens comes up to the line. Let's see what the time is going to be. It's going to be over 50 seconds, 50.5 to be exact. Ross Rizzo is going to set a time around about 55 seconds. So that is a B on the board for Ross Rizzo.
All right then. Oh, look at that there. Just pushing all the limits. Rizzo. Oh, well, we've got ourselves a 4-lap duel between these two at least. And that was definitely ambitious. Oh, but fastest final sector of anyone there, despite it being his 51.3 was the fastest final sector of anyone. Jeez, on his outlap he went the fastest in sector 2. Okay, wow. You do you. And it's a dead heat in Sector 1 on this particular lap right now.
Yep, so Daniel Stevens, 49.6 on that lap. What is Ross Rizzo going to set here? This is going to be incredibly tight. 49.5 for Ross Rizzo. That is a BM on the board for Daniel Stevens.
Quite literally, the singular 10th in the second sector was all that decided it there. Oh, yikes. Right, well, both drivers, again, looking pretty sorted and steady. Rizzo looked a little loose in Sector 1. 26.2 is Stevens' time through the first sector. 26.7 for Stevens. Oh, Rizzo, pardon me. Get it right. Stevens up by half a second on this lap in Sector 1. What does this Sector 2 look like here the way down the hill? Are we going to go all the way to 5 laps?
We'll have to wait and see as Dan Stevens sets a 49.0 across the line. 0.71. What is this time going to be for Ross Rizzo? 49.3. Oh, this is so close. That's a BM for Ross Rizzo. This lap will decide it.
There we go. We're going all the way in semi-final 2, which is what you're here to see. All right, Sector 1 times coming up. 26.0 for Daniel Stevens. Rizzo will be there in a couple of moments to the Sector 1 timing line. What can he... He's 300s off. 26.11. Oh, Rizzo spins!
Rizzo spins! This is going to absolutely fill Daniel Stevens' heart with joy. All he had to do was keep it clean. Rizzo, unfortunately, making a mistake right at the final hurdle. Stevens sets a 49.2 on his way to the line, and the seconds tick away for Ross Rizzo, the bridesmaid of Maxx Bantz. That is going to be a B.M.W. for Ross Rizzo, remaining a bridesmaid. Dan Stevens moves through to the final.
Well, how about that? I mean, obviously, it's the kind of combination, yes, where a tiny bit of difficulty certainly can make things a bit spicy. But here we go. Nate Stewart and Daniel Stevens going to be your final 2 drivers to determine who will become the next son of Banter to join the illustrious list of sons and daughters of Banter previous.
Yeah, this is either way, this is going to be a first-time winner here. We will be giving one of these drivers the most prestigious JPEG in esports, the Win Ra Trophy. Let's see who has the tactics down here. Will Stewart start a long way back? It looks like he's going to try and aim to, but Stevens is going all the way to the line. Both drivers are at a standstill. Stevens trying to inch forward here. Let us go. Boogity, boogity, boogity. In 3, 2, 1, go. And the final is away, at least in a sense. Stevens and Stewart, they had to wait. Trying their best to get the tactics down. But Stevens is going to be blocking Nate Stewart on the way into the first couple of corners. Stewart, though, will be running faster, though, thanks to going faster across the line. And Stevens almost loses it. This is going to be an absolute head-to-head, boys. This is fantastic.
It's happening. The blocks are coming out. Thomas Byrne has been complaining in game about this. Oh, and look at this. Stewart's going to give it up here. Can Stevens pull it up for the pit? He does. So there you go. Stewart waves the white flag.
No, I think he's getting some space. He's getting some space between he and Daniel Stevens. Now, to think about this, if he can run those 3 laps faster than Daniel Stevens and have the space, then he will win. We'll have to think about what this what this is going to be, right? We got to think about Nate Stewart's times here. What was that time there for Stevens?
54.47, despite it being invalid.
54.4. Okay, so we're going to confirm here at the end of the first lap that is a B on the board for Nate Stewart, but he can come back.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. I mean, you're not wrong. He waves the white flag on lap 1, but you're not wrong in that. Well, yeah, Stewart, second fastest driver all night long. Although it's only it's a 10th and a half. That's all that Daniel Stevens needs to find here on this second and third laps if he wants to properly challenge. That's how. No, sorry, 1.124. Oh gosh, over a second. Okay, so yeah, this is going to be a bit harder for Stevens to find it. And
is he slowing?
He's slowing to come and block Nate Stewart.
No. Okay. I'll have to request that blocking does not happen here, guys. We want it to be a fair fight.
Well,
so 48.9 for Nate Stewart. That is a B on the board for Daniel Stevens.
Right then, so executive orders means Stevens has to go and get on with it. But all tied up after 2 laps here in the final of Maxx Bantz 18.
Well, they do have a B each, so it's effectively equalized now. And now that I've made the call, I hope Daniel Stevens respects it, because I don't want this decided by some underhanded tactics. Ooh. I know that Maxx Bantz is a real meme event, and we can allow that sort of stuff sometimes, but as I said, I want this to be a fair fight between these drivers. I want them to drive at their best. I don't want any underhanded tactics at all. So, 50.1 for Daniel Stevens. That's going to be Nate Stewart going faster. That is a BM on the board for Daniel Stevens.
Yeah, I think unfortunately the pace differential starting to well and truly show itself here. Personal best sector 2 for Stevens on that lap at 22.7, but still a 10th down on what Nate Stewart was able to achieve on that lap. Sector 1 times actually pretty even here, Reese, Jay, so don't rule anything out just yet, but Nate Stewart fires into the carousel, willing to let that car fly on the exit. It's going to take a miracle!
Oh, Stevens loses it on the exit here. They both come out of the final corner. They're going to set their times very close to each other. It is a 49.5 for Stevens and a 48.7 for Nate Stewart. That is a B.M.W. for Daniel Stevens. Nate Stewart is a son of banter. Please join us on the SimSpeed Hub TeamSpeak, and you can come for your driver interview.
What, this is TeamSpeak?
Discord, same thing.
Potato,
SimSpeak
I guess.
Discord. Yeah, I'm very sorry. It's I'm very my brain is complete mush.
Your brain
here,
no
guys.
worky.
Yeah, my brain no worky. I know what you feel like now, Jay, commentating and bloody directing at the same time. Man, what a finish that is. Maxx Bantz 18 winner is Nate Stewart, and well, a first-time winner. Please, for the love of God, find a link to the SimSpeed TV Discord. If you don't know, you can get the link from me. Just message me on Discord, Nate, and you will be. Oh, he said. Nate Stewart says, "Give me a second to download it." Does he not have Discord installed?
How did you know what the event was going to happen or how it was going to play out if you didn't have the Discord with the Maxx Bantz Discord?
Yeah, I'm gonna say in Sim. Very sorry, Nate. It's a Discord, not TeamSpeak. My apologies. Yeah, just ask me for the link. Message me. You'll find me on the Maxx Bantz Discord. I'm so sorry. Oh God, my brain.
Now,
oh,
Reese, I ask
brain.
this every time. I've got the WinRAR trophy to put on screen.
Yeah.
What folder do I always save it in? Because I always think I can't find it. Hang on, I just found it. Don't worry.
Hey, why are you asking me? I don't know what folder.
Because I ask you this question every single Maxx Bantz.
I'll send it to you. Yeah. All right. Well, there you go. The WinRAR trophy is now Nate Stewart's. Now Nate Stewart's for the taking. So let me just figure this out for a second, guys. Talk crap for a bit, please.
I'm good at that. Very, very good at it. But welcome to your first proper Maxx Bantz, Dan. That was highly entertaining, highly fun, and controversial, as we like here at Maxx Bantz.
Indeed, yes. It probably helps that tonight's format was about the fastest lap times. Just had to do several fastest lap times to make it all work. I get the feeling if it had been a completely unconventional format of Maxx Bantz, and say the winner was somewhere in the mid-pack, might have made things a little bit more difficult for figuring out here tonight. But I think it's time to let Reese do the honours, as we're joined in the commentary box by Nate Stewart. Or at least I'm going to presume so, because Do It For Day.
Yes, indeed.
Is quite the different name.
Hello, Nate. Congratulations. Yeah, I figured I'd make it a fair fight in the final. Man, like, were you expecting to be competitive in this event when you loaded into the server and realized how horrid the setup was?
Definitely not. about half an hour into practice, I was literally like 5 seconds off pace. And I don't know what happened, but it just came to me, and then just went through the rounds, and here we are now. I am very surprised, to say the least.
So, what was your strategy coming into these races? Obviously, you got your eye in on the setup throughout the 1 hour practice before the event started. What kinds of things were you doing in the car to try and get that amount of pace out of it?
Just driving it as hard as I could, really. Some people were taking it easy, others were taking it hard. I felt like I was driving the hardest out of anyone in the server and was using all the track available to me that I was able to use, like coming into the chicane, into the hill or whatever. Like, I was the only one going across the white line to get on the brakes and get the car slowed down, because with the way the setup was, the bumps counteracted with the brakes and just slowed the car down a lot better, so I could yank it in hard and just send it through the hill.
Well, how do you feel about the Porsche Experience Centre outer layout all up? Because even with a reasonable setup, it can still be quite a frustrating track to drive.
I actually drove it a few hours ago before I went to bed to take a nap before this. In this car on a baseline set, and it actually didn't feel too terrible. This is a track I could probably enjoy hot lapping in whatever I felt like, but it's not a terrible track. Could be better, but it's a solid 5 out of 5, or 5.5 out of 10. Yeah.
And finally, before we give you your official congratulations, this is probably the last time the old Mercedes GT3 will be used in a broadcast event, at least for quite some time, being replaced by the new 2020 version of the Mercedes AMG GT3. You have any good memories in this car, as I'm sure many people do?
If I'm quite honest, not really. All my memories in this car, well, up until today, this is the only good memory I have from this car. Every other endurance race I've ran in this car, I've gotten wrecked in. So,
all
right. It's a good-looking car and sounds good, but I just never had good luck with it until tonight, this morning for me. So.
Well, indeed, that is some good luck that has finally befallen you in this car. If you check your Discord messages, Nate, you will find the WinRAR trophy in there, and you will subsequently be added to the son or daughter of banter role on the Maxx Bantz Discord. So, who do you have to thank, if anyone, for your victory tonight?
I really want to thank you and everyone else that helps put this event on, and SimSpeed for broadcasting. I've been a fan of yours for a while and very much enjoy your content, and I've participated in a few of these and always thought it was a very cool experience to be able to do this. And now, being a son of banter, that means a lot. And we wouldn't have this without you and Jake and everybody else putting this on. A quick shout out to my sponsors on the oval side, because I'm in Oval Tryhard, Apex Action Photography, Lowline Racing, Rexford Engineering, Digital Chumps, Mighty Mac Visual Media, Speed Visions. They all help me out and help continue my iRacing career, as does Rise Esports. They're all great people, and they all support me, and they'll probably be over the moon hearing that I won arguably the biggest meme race known to man when it comes to iRacing. So, but seriously, thank you all for putting this on. It means a lot to do this every 13 weeks.
And it means a lot to us to put it on every 13 weeks as well. Well, congratulations once again, Nate, and hopefully we get another chance to talk to you in that 13 weeks' time when we run the Maxx Bantz Open next.
All right, thank you. Have a good day. I'm going back to bed.
All right, have a good rest, mate. That was Nate Stewart there, the winner of Maxx Bantz 18. What a fantastic event there, Dan. Oh, goodness gracious. I am actually really happy with how that event went. Not less because I was tearing what little was left of my hair out last night, wondering how am I going to go running this in Jake Sperry's absence. But hey, we managed to put it together. We managed to go for it, and we actually got some properly exciting action from that.
We did indeed, and well, certainly more than happy to have been here to enjoy the action from the other side of the commentate. Well, I've been a viewer in the past. Now join the commentary side of things for the greatest meme on iRacing. And well, certainly you know where to find me if you need me in 13 weeks. One day maybe I'll finally get out and track and join the drivers amongst the open, but well, I'm also needed here from time to time, so we'll see how things go.
Indeed we shall. Well, we want to thank everybody across the internet for tuning in for the 18th running of the Maxx Bantz Open, everyone who watched on SimSpeed TV on YouTube, everyone who watched on Facebook, and everyone who was tuning in on the Traction Twitch channel. Thanks very much for everyone's contribution to the viewership here tonight, and thank you very much for the follows on the Traction Twitch as well. I'm sure Traction will appreciate that a lot. Thanks very much once again to all of the drivers for showing up to this event, and obviously without the drivers this event wouldn't be possible. So this is the point where we say goodbye. I'm Reese Gardner, Dan Yeaman and Jay Kennedy alongside me in the commentary box. Jay is the one making everything work here behind the scenes, bringing you these pictures. From all of us here at SimSpeed TV and at Traction, bye for now, but certainly not forever.
This is fantastic. This is GT racing right now. He's got traction. He's got everything outside of both of them. Maloney.
Oh, he's taking Anderson. Anderson's up to
Oh
him.
my God. Oh, big crash. Oh my goodness. Half the field's going to get rolled.
Second very close. These guys I want to make their way through the field very quickly. Oh, there we go. Oh no, that's massive. This is it. This is over. I can't believe this. Oh my God.
God, what?